Fasten your seatbelts.
Drivers, start your engines.
Race activated. Sheer passion. Change the game forever.
Ladies and gentlemen, we give you Racing with Celebs.
Do I really need to introduce myself again after 3 seasons and 11 episodes? It will be like explaining where the oil cap is all the time. Well, welcome back to another exciting episode of Racing with Celebs, the show designed for you petrol heads out there. Well, our word for the day, bag of donuts. This happens in drag racing when a driver scores a perfect reaction time, like 0.0 seconds. Well, my name is Donovan Clyde. Today the action will take place at Kartzone. Kartzone opened in August 2018 and has been growing since its opening. On this auspicious occasion, we will be chatting to no one else than the voice that takes you home with his traffic reports on the minute, by the hour, every day. I'm talking about Jacaranda FM voice Thabiso Khambule. Growing up in the small village of Ditakong East, 15 kilometers outside Mafikeng, a young Thabiso Khambule would sit for hours recording his own voice, editing his reports, and then playing it back to himself. Today, he is a familiar voice to thousands of Jacaranda FM listeners as he guides them through the traffic each day with his traffic reports. You know what? I think it's time to cross over to my friend Johan and co-host Johan Snyman.
Here we go again, as we present to you another exciting episode of your favorite racing show, Racing with Celebs. My name is Johan Snyman and I'm very excited to guide you through today's paces. Every car deserves a track, and today we are back at Kartzone with our celebrity Thabiso Khambule. Simply put, this is for everyone. There's no other form of entertainment out there that can provide you or your guests with such a fun factor. An ideal activity for team building, a perfect start to a bachelor's, or even as a conferencing activity, rental karting will certainly provide an experience second to none. Designed by multiple South African and world champion Leroy Poulter, the 700-meter outdoor karting track features a perfect rental karting layout, drawing aspects from the best racing circuits in the world. Now that we know more about Kartzone, it's time to introduce you to our celebrity Thabiso Khambule. Thabiso, welcome to Racing with Celebs. It's an honor for us to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, Johan. It's an honor to be here. Thank you very much.
Have you ever done something like this before?
Yes, I have. And yeah, it's always exciting to be in one of these carts.
And what are your expectations for today?
Expectations are win, nothing less but a win. I'm a bit of a sore loser, especially when it comes to racing. So yeah, nothing but a win.
And if you look back on the grid, you only see yellow. So what do you think are your chances to come out on top?
Goodness gracious. Yeah, no, I guess the odds are against me, eh?
It looks scary, eh?
It does.
Well, to make sure you are safe, it's time for our safety brief.
Lucky, let's do it.
Up next, we're at Kartzone with radio personality Thabiso Khambule.
Mzansi, new spectacular singles brought to you by Roman's Pizza. Zihamba ngama-11. One single large margarita, only $63.90. One single large pepperoni deluxe, only $74.90. One single large 4-in-1, only $94.90. One single large sweet chili chicken, only $98.90. Nizwile. Order online at romanspizza.co.za. We deliver, or you collect. Roman's Pizza, best value.
Welcome back to part 2 of Racing with Celebs. If you've just joined us, this week we've got Thabiso Khambule, a radio DJ from Jarakanda FM, does the traffic and travel reports every day. He is going to be out go-karting. Let's see how he fares out on track here at this bespoke karting facility located right near the Swartkops Raceway. He's in the number 99 that's just gone through your shot there. And getting acquainted with the kart and the circuit. Very tricky track here at the Kartzone at the Swartkops Raceway. A very new facility as well for Thabiso to get used to. Let's see how he's going to fare. There's a great gaggle of karts going on for a battle out here on track. You can just see in the forefront of your shot, that's the number 7 of Camo Popo. Side by side as well. In the middle of that was Nicholas Kershaw. And then on the inside there as well, that looks like it's the number 3. It is indeed of Nakaso Shulk. So Shulk there in second in the shot, at least. Just losing out to the number 55. And is that Khambule's like personal entourage or something at the side of the circuit? I'm not quite sure what that's all about, but either way, it makes it quite interesting for us here to watch. Keep an eye out and see how high they're cheering to see how well Khambule is doing out on track. Meanwhile, here's a bit of a battle. Oh, goodness me! Into the tyres there goes number 85, Ruan Spees. Nowhere to go. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, anyway, after that, here is the grid. As you can see, Thabiso Khambule lining up in board the number 99, then number 5, Lois Stander, number 55, Nick Kershaw, along with Alicia Genard in the number 4, Austin McKeesey in the number 6, Camo Papo in the number 7, Hendrik Duplessis in the number 1, and the rest of the field as they get ready and lined up on the grid. Let's go then, shall we? Race number 1 is underway once again then here at the Swartkops Raceway. So Camo Papo, we're riding on board with him on board the number 7 into second position. Looks like it's the number 85 of Ruan Spees who is in third place. We saw him into the barrier a few moments ago, and somebody has not even made it into the second turn. Is that Thabiso Khambule? I think it might be, actually, you know. I think he's come a cropper in the second corner. Even before that, bit of a slide there as well for number 7 of Papo. And there we see Khambule. Well, not a good start to his karting at all. His entourage giving him a good round of applause there, but either way, he is going to need to come into play with those traffic reports, because I'm fairly sure, given how far behind the field he is going to become traffic towards the end of this race. Bit of a slide there as well from the race leader as they come through those final series of corners. Over the timing line we go once again and into the first turn. Just looking at the number 7 there in third position. That's Camo Papo, who we were riding on board with in the early stages. He's got some close company from behind in the form of the number 55. That's Nicholas Kershaw, who is all over his back bumper. We saw that a few moments ago, and we're seeing it again here in race 1. Through the long left-hander we go, onto the accelerator once more. Look over the shoulder there as well from Papo, and I'm not surprised. Looks like Khambule sticking his arm in the air there. Not quite sure what that's all about, whether he's struggling with the kart or whether he's just trying to respond to the cheers of his entourage there. Let's see. Coming through into the left-hander. It's very difficult to get your grips and your bearings with these go-karts, given that they're corporate karts. They're running on very hard composite tyres, so there's not really much heat in them that you can get, and of course go-karts only have rear brakes, so it's very easy to have a slide like that as well. Right on cue for Camo Papo there, nicely demonstrated, thank you very much indeed, as he comes over the timing line once again. Looks like some problems here as well, as number 5 going towards the outside then. That is Lois Stander, and it's just getting ahead of the number 4 of Alicia Genard. So, or Genarde, I should say rather, in 4th position, getting herself positioned down there. Come through the long left-hander once again. Meanwhile, good battles going on here between the number 6, that's Austin McKees, and then the number 3 of Shulk as well, who saw him earlier on. Lap 6 out of 10 we're on here already, as the drivers come down the back straight in towards the left-hander. Oh, led on the brakes! And that's what I was talking about, the rear brakes. It's very easy to lock the rear, and that is exactly what Hendrik Duplessis did there. Went to the inside, cost another driver some time, in fact 2 or 3 drivers some time there. Oh, dearie me. Well, that is not ideal at all, and they are going to have now a lot of work to do. No such problems for Thabiso Khambule there. And the entourage continues entouraging, if that's an adjective. If it's not, I've just made it one. behind him there as well. You can see some of the faster traffic trying to find their way through as number 4 of Junadegas gets out of the way there, going through the left-hander. You can see them threading the eye of a needle coming down this straight. It's too many carts and not enough track position. Goodness me, I thought there was going to be another incident there, but they all do manage somehow to make it through. But Thabiso Khambule locking up the brakes, and that in turn causes the number 4 of Junade to lock up as well. Now running on board, here we are with Camo Papo. Look at this, he's managed to dice his way through the field. This is fantastic driving as he comes through and carves his way. What's that, 4 or 5 carts he's managed to get through in the space of one corner. Superb driving there. But, well, meanwhile, Khambule just doing a good job of keeping himself out of trouble. Thumbs up there from Hendrik du Plessis, who we saw facing the wrong way a little bit earlier on in this race. Coming through into the left-hander. That's a nice little bit of driving there for the number 7. And that is Camo Papo moving his way up, so significantly faster than the driver that they were able to lap there and getting their way through with relative ease. That tyre barrier that sticks the way out is proving to be a bit of a menace here today. Ooh, a bit of a slip and a slide there as well, once again, for the number 55 of Nicholas Kershaw. Not the first time, and probably certainly not the last time we are going to be able to see that. Just behind them is Ruan Spies. On board the number 85, side by side they're about to come here as well. Looks like the number 55 of du Plessis is going to send his way up the inside into the right-hander of turn 2. Not quite able to find his way past, but the elbows are going out then in the latter stages then of this race as we come through into the left-hander once again. And Ruan Spies in the black cart is really trying to do everything he can to get himself ahead of the number 7 of Camo Papo then in this race. But not proven to be an easy task for him at the moment. Into the left-hander, that's an opportunity, but not presenting itself. Oh, and a bit of contact there has sent Papo wide. Likewise, Hendrik du Plessis also going a bit wide through that final turn there as well. Over the timeline we go to start the final lap then here of race number 1. Let's see what's going to happen. A look over the shoulder there for Camo Papo. The 85 then of Ruan Spies is certainly putting the pressure on him now. As they come through that right hand, and then they're going to flick it left once more. Well, this is getting very exciting. Over the line comes Camo Papo to take the checkered flag ahead of Ruan Spies and Nicholas Kershaw. Hendrik du Plessis finishing in 4th. Thabiso Khambule in his first race. The celebrity comes home P5 ahead of Stando, Janade, Chalk and McKeezy, completing our competitors. Race number 2 then is about to get underway. Let's see what is going to happen for our drivers then. The green flag is waved, but it's a slow reaction from the front row, and that is going to allow another driver to come through and take the lead away. So we have had a driver change, by the way. Michael Sipaneka is now on board the number 3 machine. Meanwhile, up the inside there goes the number 55 of Nicholas Kershaw into 2nd position. Then comes Sipaneka then. Meanwhile, Khambule has lost a few positions off the start. He had a very slow start away from the lights, as we know. We see riding on board there, just in the background of your shot, the number 85, Ruan Spies, who of course was so competitive in that first race, now challenging Khambule. Looks right, looks left, and now gets his way back past. Khambule does Ruan Spies into the next position up for the number 85. Meanwhile, over the timeline we go, already having had 1 lap completed then here at this kart circuit. There is the number 55 in the background of Nicholas Kershaw. Of course, all important to keep a low centre of gravity. Actually leaning into the corners can help. It seems quite counterproductive really, but it does actually help quite significantly. As you can see, the entourage still doing their thing in race 2. Their spirits have not been dampened at all. Meanwhile, let's see what's happening then on lap number 3. So down the straight we go into the left-hander, the final turn. Very easy to lock a rear through there. Not the first time we'll have seen it either. It's Camo Papo who's leading the way at the moment, closely followed by Sipaneka and also Nicholas Kershaw. Kershaw and the number 55 in 2nd position, Sipaneka in 3rd position in the number 3. See how close they're getting through that long right-hander, I should say, that hairpin. And look at that, Sipaneka going down the inside and moving himself ahead of du Plessis. He's an inspired man because he's really putting the bit between his teeth now. And he's looking very quick, but goes wide. That allows the number 55 of Kershaw to come back straight up the inside. Coming down the straight we go then as we go in towards that hairpin bend. Is anybody going to think about a lunge into there? It's quite early on in the race, so trying to keep your nose clear at this stage is important, but that is not what Camo Papo, the race 1 winner, has done. He's overcooked it. He spins and he loses crucial time to the race leaders. So the trio becomes a duo battling for that race lead now. And that is going to be an uphill task then for Camo Papo to try and close that gap down before the end of this race. It does now mean, though, that Nicholas Kershaw leads the way from Michael Siepeneka. Here then is the number 3 going through that left-hander. You can see him scrubbing that speed off with all that understeer going through that left-hander. But it somehow seems to be working for him. He's not losing too much time, as you can see the race leader of Kershaw just ducking down there, just trying his best to get any advantage he can. Maybe he's going to be a bit more aerodynamic. Let's wait and see. Camo Papo now coming under some pressure. Looks like Ruan Spies is the man who is indeed putting that pressure onto him. Indeed it is. As they come down the start-finish straight. Lap 6 out of 10 we're already on, so coming in towards the latter stages and the closing stages of this race already. And Camo Papo, going from fighting for the race lead, has gone from that, and he's now going to potentially be under threat for his podium. Meanwhile, the top 2 still squabbling for position of Siepeneka and the number 55 of Nicholas Kershaw then. Coming down the straight. Oh, side by side, trying to block their way through there. You can see very close indeed Siepeneka trying to find his way past, but not able to do so. So certainly looks like Kershaw's got the defensive driving done very nicely. He took a couple of moves on that straight, but he's able to hold on to track position very well indeed. They're coming through. You sense that it is going to be a matter of when and not if they come together, and that is exactly what happened. Siepeneka up the inside. On the outside then is Duplessis. This is very close indeed. They're going to flick it left now. Who's going to get track position? They make more contact through there. Duplessis holds on, but the number 3 of Siepeneka is going to have the inside line, but doesn't have the momentum to pull alongside him. They're going to come down the straight now, and this is where we've seen some argy-bargy before between these two. Hard on the brakes, we're about to go, but no moves being made there for Siepeneka, just keeping his nose clean there. It was all getting a little bit feisty out in front between them, and now look in front, they've got lap traffic to try and contend with here as well, so keep an eye out for that, because that could be a very pivotal catalyst in this race then. Defensive line there from the number 55, and traffic as well in the form of the back marker just getting in the way there, just able to get themselves out of the way crucially there, but it is still not halting the battle, and there's contact, and that is going to send them round, and that does indeed demote Nicholas Kershaw down the order. There was contact there, and that is going to be very disappointing indeed. So Siepeneka looks like he's just been able to hold on then to the race lead with the number 3. He'll be pleased with that. But Hendrik Duplessis is now into second position on board the number 1 then. So, goodness me, well that was a very unexpected turn of events, wasn't it? Somewhat inevitable that it was going to happen though. It was just a case of when and not if, really. Final lap time we're on now then here, and look at this squabble for position going on. That's Hendrik Duplessis on board the number 1. Meanwhile, there is Ruan Spies squabbling still with Camo Papo for the final podium slot. Papo on board the number 7, the red cart in the middle of your picture there, still holding on to that place, but Ruan Spies is trying every trick in the book to get himself ahead, and including sending themselves down the inside. Somebody's had a moment though going into that hairpin, and we've hardly mentioned him over this one, but Thabiso Khambule has driven very well indeed, still sitting in 5th position. A very impressive race from the traffic and travel reporter. And let's see whether he will perhaps launch a new career in go-karting. Checker flag, though, is out. Race 2 does come to a close. Siepeneka taking the win ahead of Hendrik Duplessis, and Camo Papo just holding off Ruan Spies for that final podium. Khambule, Kershaw, Stander and Mkizi completing the 8 finishers.
It was so much fun. I wish I could do this every day. I wish I could do this for a living.
So much fun.
Yeah, no, a whole lot of fun. I think just next time get a bit of practice in maybe to be number 1, because I think I came overall like 5th or something like that. But it was still good. A whole lot of good sport.
Up next, we catch up with Thabiso Khambule to find out more about his personal life. Catch you after the break.
We are back with our celebrity for today, Thabiso. Thabiso, how did radio land in your world?
Yo, I have to say it's just by the grace of God. I always wanted to be on radio since I was 4 years old. And then I actually went to go study travel and tourism for 4 years. It was actually a 3-year course, and then I failed my 4th module, so I had to go back, finish that up. I was a dentist receptionist, and then I became a dental assistant, and then I got fired from my job.
Why? What did you do?
No, we were just not getting along. But I used it as my testimony actually, and I said they fired me into my dream, because after that, 2 months after that, I got into radio.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And what is the weirdest thing about being on radio, talking to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people, and they can't see you?
Yeah, I have to say it's amazing the impact that you actually make on people's lives. I think when we do outside broadcasts or when we have events, and someone comes to you and they tell you that, listen, you said this to me on this day, or you said this over the radio on this day, it was like you were speaking directly to me. I was going through something and you just lightened me up. A whole lot of people love my laugh. So, so I always use that as something just to pick people up.
And also to motivate them as well.
Indeed, definitely.
And while on air, what was one of the most funniest things that ever happened to you?
I had this moment. So in English you say traffic is being diverted. So I do traffic on Jacaranda FM, and I said traffic is being diverted. So it was Afrikaans bulletin. And instead of saying verkeer word herlei, I said verkeer word verlei. So that's not what you want to say on radio.
Absolutely. If you could host any radio show with anyone, who will it be and why?
Man, I have to say it would be Jay Shetty. Why? Because he's very inspirational and very motivational. He was a monk, and then he basically went back into the business world, and I can imagine that being a monk, you are in such a peaceful place, and then going back into the hustle and bustle of the world and into the rat race, and you're in London and you're doing your thing there, and he got to inspiring people and grow such a huge following because of that. And I'm all for that. I'm all for empowering people and inspiring people, So I guess, it would definitely be with him, Jay Shetty.
And what motivates you?
I would say my kids. I have 2 beautiful boys. I feel like I live for them. I feel like I do everything for them. Of course, I'm a career-driven guy, and I love what I do. But I definitely want to leave them a legacy that I most probably would have never had.
And how would you describe yourself in 3 words?
I'd say fun. I'd say adventurous. And I'd say, I don't know if there's a word for not lazy.
Passion.
Yeah.
Let's say passion.
There we go.
And if you've got a traffic report out there for all South Africans, what will it be?
I would say, sure, and this is going to come out very weirdly, but I would say daar's swaar verkeer op die lyn van lewe, en daar's omtrent so 30 minute se vertraging. So there's hectic heavy traffic in the lane of life, and you're gonna wait for about 30 minutes. And why I say that is because life takes you on a journey, and you have to be patient. You have to be patient to get to a few stuff. You have to be patient to reach your dreams. And I think I myself become very despondent sometimes. So it's actually a lesson to myself as well of just becoming patient in your walk in life.
Yeah, fantastic, Thabiso. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Yeah, man, a lot. Please invite me back.
No, definitely. Donovan, take us home.
Next week on Racing with Celebs. Catch all the action on Ignition TV, DSTV channel 189.
Thank you for watching another exciting episode of Racing with Celebs. If you would like to find out more about the series, celebrities, or our sponsors, or categories, please visit our Facebook page, Racing with Celebs, or download our mobile app with Racing with Celebs on the Google Play Store or the Apple iStore. Till next time, keep it safe, Asya.